Hello everybody, I am JayLeonardJ. Today we're going to be creating some really cool blends of reverb and delay algorithms with these two Alexander pedals. We have the Rewind Echo and the Space Force Reverb. On the bench today, I got two pedals from Alexander. This is the Rewind Programmable Echo, and then this is the Space Force Reverb. This is their top-of-the-line stuff from the Leap series. Really high-end algorithms with the MIDI and the presets and the tap tempos and the ramps and the expression pedal outs. There's lots of high-end algorithms here. On the Echo, I believe there's, 10 different types of echoes, and then on the Reverb, there's 8 different types with really, really cool stuff that can go extremely out there and crazy, or just traditional, simple and straight ahead. Really, really powerful stuff, and they sound really, really lovely. So what I wanted to do today is I just actually, instead of just going through these pedals and showing all the sounds and all the features, what I really wanted to do was come up with some really cool blends, because there's some really neat algorithms here. And there's some really neat algorithms here, and I thought we could just like a wine tasting with meals. You could pair these two flavors. I'll find some algorithms that match and work really well with each other. I'm gonna do 5. I'm gonna go 5 different blends that you can do with the Rewind and the Space Force. Let's get to work. Well, we're doing 5 different pairings of sounds, and for the first one, we're actually going to use very similar algorithms. I'm on the lo-fi setting for both the Space Force and the Rewind Echo, and I find that they add a nice little crunchiness to the decay. It's like this little bit of compression and a little bit of hair under the fingernails that just makes everything sound very pretty. This is the guitar on its own. Let's turn on the lo-fi reverb sound. If you're wondering what that modulation is, if you look here, I put a little sawtooth modulation in the end. Just gives it a little cool sound. For the Echo, this is a nice little crunch at the end of our repeats. Now let's mate them together. For our next sound, we're going to do the classic combination of a springy reverb and a analogy delay. So we'll have that brightness of the spring mixed with that nice sweet and warmth of the analog. It's a perfect combination, and I actually made it as a preset. And the way we go through the presets is we just long press this. So I could actually just long press it all the way to number 2, which is my little preset that I just created. And let's go hear what we got going on over here. This is the analog delay, just a hint of modulation. And the spring reverb. Now here's a cool little feature that I also added. In the spring reverb, you can actually add a tremolo in it. In this case, I put a triangle waveform for more of like a 60s style tremolo, and I assigned it to a ramp. So if I hold on to this button, it will actually turn up the depth, and then I'll get my tremolo sound, and if I hold it again, then it will actually take off the depth and make it go away. So it's kind of like having an extra pedal at my fingertips. As much as I love the really beautiful atmospheric delay and reverb sounds, my bread and butter, what really gets me excited is when I get really rhythmic and syncopated with it. So let's dial in one of those sounds. The reverb I chose is a hall because I find it just gives me a little bit of nice space at the beginning of my note, just fills in the holes, and it's nice and round, doesn't get in the way, and it has a really nice bloom to it. Check this out here. And it's nice, it kind of like, it's like a circle. It's almost like an exclamation point, and then that really bottom is the reverb. I love it. Now it gives me lots of space for my echo. Now I'm using a tape echo because the cool thing about the tape is we could actually have 4 different heads to choose from, so I can get different patterns. This is an AC pattern. We can go like an AD pattern. The one I like is this BC pattern. Where is that one? Right over. Oh, there it is. And we could tap tempo it. 2, 3, 4. Here's a really cool sound for you. I have a dynamic echo, which is going to swell in my guitar and my delays at the same time. Really neat effect. And if I add a cool reverb here, on this case, I have a really bloomy, super fat reverb with a pitch shift, like a whole octave up. We get some really beautiful, cloudy, wonderful effects. Check this out. For our last sound, we're going to get a little bit crazy here. I have an analog reverb, which is, it's like an old karaoke machine. It's actually hilarious. It's more like a bunch of quick delays than it really is a reverb. Check this out. It actually sounds really charming in a way. Really, really crazy. Now, do you remember when I held down on this and I was able to get a ramp up feature? I ramped up the depth of the tremolo. Now, I actually hooked up an expression pedal to this, and I'm gonna ramp up a bunch of stuff. See, I could ramp up the repeats at the same time as the mix, at the same time as the time, and I'm also ramping up the modulation as well. So really crazy stuff, really cool sound. Now, for our echo, I'm using a filter echo, which has like an envelope filtery kind of sound to it. Really, really beautiful stuff. And that is the Space Force Reverb and the Rewind Echo by Alexander. Well, that is it. That is the video. Thank you all so much for watching. Please subscribe to the page if you haven't done so already. Check out the links in the description below. And if you want to hear my review on the Rewind and the Space Force, please check it out on Patreon. I do all my reviews on Patreon, sponsored by the Patreon supporters, and all my demos, tutorials, and all that kind of stuff is right here on YouTube. Now, my question for the subscribers today, it actually goes out to the people that actually have these two units. What blend do you use with these two? And how do you create the sounds that you like out of them? Write it down in the comment section below. That being said, I'll see you all soon. Take care and goodbye.